Welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Today I'm actually doing something a bit different, still car related, but it's actually something about a dash cam. Our friends at 70mi sent this to us to review, and I actually have somewhat of a vested interest because I have a dash cam that has just bit the dust. It was a no-name off of Amazon, don't even know what the brand was. So yeah, I'm just going to do an unboxing and installation and see how it does. I'll give you some real world footage and tell you everything about the 70mi M500. So starting right off the bat, well, I guess I'll say I have the 70mi hardware kit as well. That's a second thing you can buy to like hardwire it to the actual car, which gives you a few extra features. But let's just unbox this and see how it goes. Great packaging, by the way. And 70mi, I believe they're like a subsidiary of Xiaomi who makes really good tech products. So this is not just another random brand off Amazon. And it should have some decent specs. So here we have user manual, and then these plastic things I believe are for mounting later. Nice packaging for the user manual. I recommend keeping it. And first off, right away we can see the dash cam, which looks really good. Nice solid construction, some air ventilation there, and an arrow, which is interesting. You have a piece of plastic over the lens, which I'll leave on there for now, but of course I'll peel it off later. And DC in over USB-C, which is great. I'll be replacing my mini USB dash cam that I had before. Power button here. It looks like a microphone right there. Set that aside, and then we have two compartments. I'll go right first. And this is, I believe, yes, the mounting bracket, which has another arrow. So I'm guessing these go together, like so. Oh, nice clicking sound. USB-C is still visible. Conveniently 70mi visible through there. And yeah, the sticky plate on the mount. And yep, it does tilt. Nice firm tilt. So you should be able to just set it and forget it. So set that aside. The arrows still matching up there. What else is in this section? Oh, this is your basically the cigarette lighter plug, and that's one option to power it. It is two USB ports, so you basically have one for your dash cam and another for your phone, which is convenient. All recyclable plastic, I do appreciate that. And this seems to all be cardboard. Now on this side, we have a couple things. There we go, USB-A to USB-C. So it is interesting that they don't have USB-C on both sides. That's an interesting choice, but it works. So yeah, one end for the camera, one end to plug it into the cigarette lighter. And that's how you can run it straight off the car. I'm actually going to hardwire mine, at least that's the plan. Trim tools, which can help you get to, removing, I guess, your trim to hide the wires. And this, I guess, is an extra piece of the sticky thing. So you could mount it and then later change your mind, switch cars. They do have an extra one. So great to see there. That's it for the main box. Otherwise on the box, it just kind of tells you things about the camera. 64G, so I believe it's 64 gigabytes. This does have built-in eMMC solid state storage, which is awesome. 170-degree ultra wide angle and 1944p ultra HD, so almost full 4K, 2.5 times 1080p as they say. And the lens, I believe, is an f2.0 aperture, so should be plenty bright as well. And the high resolution is nice because you can always zoom into the footage later, which I'll, of course, provide examples for soon. And 5-volt power. Yep, that's about it for the box. Pretty simple, straightforward. Built-in Wi-Fi and GPS, that's cool. So let's get into the hardwire kit here. They did send us things in boxes that were perfect condition, and then my bag subsequently destroyed this box. So that's why that one's not looking quite as good. This has USB-C on one end. And we have accessory, ground, and voltage. So yeah, this should be what we need to hardwire it in. You will need some sort of system to adapt this, and we have, I guess, heat shrink type cap situation. And then that's the power supply built in, which is nice. So yeah, excited to see how this mounts up. But yeah, let me tell you, I guess, a couple things about the camera. And I gave you the highlights on the box. But their website, by the way, they have a phenomenal website, so I have a few things I'll relate to here. But 24-hour parking surveillance, I believe you do need the hardwire kit for that because it runs off your car's battery. And it should pull really low voltage, but it will detect the voltage of your car's battery, and if that starts getting low at all, it shuts off to prevent it from killing your car completely. Built-in GPS and GLONASS, so it connects to both those types of satellites. It does have ADAS features, which is really interesting, and I'm excited to try those out because that basically means it can almost, help be a driver assistant. It can look for traffic in front of you, it can warn you if you're about to hit someone, or even lane departure. Don't know how accurate it's going to be, especially because this lets you install it anywhere on the car, so that'll be interesting to see how well that works. But really, for most people, myself included, a dash cam just means something I can record footage with, maybe even throw that on YouTube later, but also, in case of an accident, you have something you can use as legal proof in case you're not at fault. Built-in storage, I already said that. It's TPMS compatible, which is a really interesting quirk. I've never seen a dash cam that wants to work with TPMS. If it senses something, it has built-in G like force sensing, and if you're gone away from your car and it senses an event, it will record that file, lock that file so it doesn't override it later, and then it will alert you with voice once you get back in the car saying, hey, something happened. Oh, loop recording, I should mention, so that way once it gets to old files, it'll overwrite them unless an accident occurs, the G-force thing goes off, and you might even be able to manually lock files. That's something I'll have to look into. But it will lock certain files, so it constantly loop records, erases old files, makes room for the new ones. 64 gigs should be a decent amount of storage space, and a 500 milliamp hour battery built in, so it should last a while even once the car is off, even if you don't have the hardwire kit. So that's pretty much it for the unboxing and a overview of the camera. We'll see how it installs, which that is very case by case with your car, but I'll throw some clips in here if I can. And then we'll do the actual review once I've been using it. So, camera installation, pretty simple. We basically took all the plastics out of the windshield surround, ran the hardwire. So if you have the hardwire kit, it's most cars not very hard to run it underneath the actual trim materials. Very nice aesthetics as far as the looks department. And because there's no screen on it, it has a very slim profile. In fact, I cannot see it at all from my perspective. My only thing I would recommend or wish they had was a right angle USB-C plug, but still that's minor gripe. But got it neatly tucked away. Actually, I need to clip this little thing, forgot to do that. But otherwise, it's all set and ready to go. So once I get it powered up, I'll show you how this works here. But the with no screen, it has an audible alert to let you know it's on, or the green light right there.
Start recording video.
And then it lets you know it's recording the video. So easy as that. And it does the audible things, which you can adjust. You can adjust the volume of the audible alerts, or you can even tell them to turn off altogether. I've actually got on loud volume right now because I just did some ADAS calibration. So the ADAS calibration is really interesting. I basically threw it up there and then aligned it with the front of the car, made sure it was within, and it walks you through this. It puts like highlighted areas on the camera saying align the bottom of the hood here and the horizon there. And then it just told me to go drive around at greater than 40 kilometers an hour, or roughly 25 miles an hour. So I did that. I drove down my road, which was about 50 miles an hour, had clear lane markings, and it just calibrated itself. It claims 5 to 8 minutes. I think it did it in about 4 or 5 minutes, and it just did an audible alert that said ADAS calibration successful. So pretty cool that it has that. It is not going to be quite as You know, it's not like you're now in a Tesla, where the cameras are all fully integrated with the car. It just tells you things like, oh, you're departing the lane, or you're about to crash into someone. Or actually, a part I really like is it'll let you know when the driver in front of you is leaving the stoplight. You know, I'll do some driving footage of it actually in action, and it works pretty darn well. Not amazing, like it won't recognize certain lanes if it's like really light, but as far as at least daytime driving, it seems to be pretty accurate. And I could see it getting annoying. Like, it is a good safety feature, but I don't know if I'll have it on all the time. Of course, you can separate all the ADAS functions, so you can pick and choose which of those 4 functions you actually want to have on.
Vehicle ahead motion detected. Lane departure. Caution, front car.
The app itself is really easy. It's easy to use. The camera will create a hotspot, and you basically connect your phone to that hotspot, and it will tell you when the hotspot is on, and it stops the recording if it is recording video. So you can turn on the hotspot manually by hitting the power button.
Turning on Wi-Fi hotspot.
Or you can say it. I forgot to mention the video
Wi-Fi
control.
hotspot is on.
There you go. I forgot to mention the video controls, so I could be like, take a photo. Check that out. That's awesome. It is funny though, like when I'm a photographer, so if I'm using that vernacular in a sentence, it will take a photo, which is fine. So just like that. Within the app, you can adjust all sorts of parameters like video recording resolution, sensitivity levels for both emergency alerts and parking alerts, which actually, interestingly enough, that I have set on medium. I think it came out of the box at high sensitivity, which I found too much for my car because I drive a Miata on coilovers. It's a bit stiff, but for most other smoother cars, especially ones on like air suspension, they would probably be smooth enough to keep it by default. But it was cool to see that I could turn it on medium, not even on like the lowest sensitivity. There's so many adjustable parameters on this camera, so I really find that valuable to use and easy to use. It will also send over-the-air updates through the app, which is awesome because I did actually get the camera with the software out of the box, and once I got it all set up, it said there was an update available, which is cool. I actually did drive it without the update installed first, and the only thing I noticed before installing the update was that I changed the speed reading to be miles per hour instead of kilometers an hour, and it had the correct speed reading but still had the label kilometers an hour. Very minor thing. No one's going to complain about that. I'm just OCD and noticed it. And then I did the over-the-air update and it fixed that. And it was a quick update too. So it's cool that, cameras, just like a lot of other technology, can get improvements and performance fixes and bug fixes through over-the-air updates, which is another reason why I think it's worth dishing out a bit extra for a nicer dash cam that is more future-proof. So with that, let's go take this out on the road and get some footage, and I will do both day and night footage of my road out there and show you kind of how it looks. I'll do both at the full almost 4K resolution, and then I'll do one at the lowest resolution too, just so you can see what it looks like when you're really trying to optimize your storage space on the camera. So there you have it, 70mm M500 dash camera. Really impressed with this thing. They have a lot of options from 70mm with screens with higher storage capacity, a variety of budgets in mind. So go check out their offerings, see what you like. But I'm pretty impressed with this. So I will keep running this in my car. I did turn off the ADAS just because for me it couldn't tell when I was departing the lane versus just trying to turn signal into the next lane. It doesn't actually work with your turn signal. But that's something you can just turn off independently. So yeah, awesome camera, good variety of video resolution. As you can see by the 200% zoom, you can still see a lot of detail. And so the 1080p seems like it's kind of a crop into the 1944p just like that. But I'm happy with it. It's one of those things where I'll just run it and hopefully I never need it. But a dash camera is one of those things where you don't know you'll need it until you do. Does that make sense? Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.